Hello, brothers and sisters. Hey, thanks for joining me. Today, I saw this story in the American Spectator talking about immigration. And, immigration's been a huge topic recently. It seems like all of the Western countries have just been following these open border policies for whatever reason for the last 10 years. And people are starting to have enough of it. I think it's one of the topics that helped get Trump elected in America. He said he was going to deport all the illegal aliens and then all the troublemaker aliens, legally or not. And so nobody should be surprised because then when he got into power, he did just that. And we're seeing more and more of that. We're seeing around the world, protests coming up in the UK about the migrant hotels. We're seeing the raise the colors. In Germany, they're banning the AFD because the AFD is anti-migrant. And my view really is that it's really because it's been too much. It's too much of a strain on resources, and countries cannot absorb the number of migrants that have been coming in. And if you say that, then the people who are on the left will say that you're just saying that because you're a racist. No, I don't think people are saying that just because they're racist. I mean, yeah, there are probably some people out there that are racist and using, that as cover. But I think a lot of people are just frustrated by the additional crime and just the strain on resources. There's not enough housing, and so housing prices go up, food prices go up because there's just so many more people. And then a lot of them are living on benefits that your regular citizens don't get. And so all this is leading to frustration. But let's see this story about Denmark. So Denmark's hard immigration lesson, data over illusions. The future of Palestinians should not be decided in the West, but in the Gulf monarchies and Indonesia, where Islamic tradition underpins civic life. Yeah, so I guess this one isn't as much about immigration, maybe as about the Palestinian thing, or maybe it's conjoining it. Yeah, that is an interesting thing. I'm interested to read this. Why are they all coming to the West, all these migrants? Why aren't they going to better countries in the Middle East where people speak similar languages, have a tradition of similar religions and such? I would think they would be welcomed there, but for some reason, it seems like the majority of them are coming west. But let's read this. This is by Kevin Cohn. There's an old saying in politics: when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. The same holds true for migration. In the Wall Street Journal op-ed, two Israeli parliamentarians, Danny Danon and Ram Ben Barak, implored America and Europe to welcome Palestinians from Gaza. It was pitched as duty, framed as decency, marketed as morality. But Denmark, of all places, has already believed the evidence the first time, and last month it finally slammed the door. So I guess Denmark must have stopped taking Palestinians. In August 2025, Copenhagen refused even Palestinian cancer patients, citing the risk that medical mercy becomes migratory permanence. Cruel? That's what critics screamed. Clear-eyed? That's what Danes knew, because they had already tried, already paid, already tallied the receipts. The experiment began in 1992 when Denmark took 321 Palestinians, a tiny figure by global standards. Yeah, it's not much. The total number a government could proudly point to at international conferences, a token of Nordic benevolence. But like so many tokens, it was symbolic without being thought through. Because those 321 arrivals did not become model citizens, they became a case study in what happens when noble sentiment collides with cultural reality. By 2019, 204 of them, nearly two-thirds, had criminal convictions. Wow, two-thirds of them were criminals within 20 years. Not parking tickets, convictions. Their children, 999 in number, didn't break the cycle. They repeated it. Roughly a third, about 330 kids, had convictions of their own. Wow. This is not compassionate work, it's arithmetic. A trickle became a torrent. 321 turned into 204 criminals. 999 kids turned into 330 convicts. And still, the bill didn't end there. A 2018 Finance Ministry report estimated that non-Western immigrants and their descendants cost Danish taxpayers $2.8 billion annually, with Palestinians punching far above their demographic weight in welfare dependency. Denmark's welfare state, built as a civic covenant with its own people, became a bank account for others. So when critics demand to know why Denmark won't even let in Gaza sick, the answer is written in those numbers. Compassion wasn't denied, compassion was already tried, and it left scars. Yeah, it's like you want migrants to come to your country and integrate into your society and become, good citizens, and that's good for everyone. But if 2/3 of them are criminals, then this is a failed experiment. Stop bringing them in. The lesson here is not that Palestinians are irredeemable. The lesson is that Western democracies are the wrong vessels for this burden. Europe's fragile social contracts cannot absorb entire populations forged in the crucible of grievance and resistance. Liberal democracies fracture when stretched beyond their cultural seams. The Danish test proved it. Which is why the future should not be decided in Copenhagen or Chicago, but Riyadh, Doha, Kuala Lumpur, and Jakarta. The Gulf monarchies, flush with oil wealth and urban mega projects, can construct new towns in months. Surely they can construct new lives for fellow Arabs. Indonesia and the world's largest Muslim nation, Malaysia, where Islamic tradition underpins civic life, have already signaled willingness to welcome Palestinians. Those initiatives should be encouraged and expanded because they represent precisely the kind of culturally aligned, regionally grounded solutions that can succeed where Western democracies have failed. Jordan has shouldered millions to the point that it is now demographically Palestinian in all but name. Lebanon, brittle and broken, has hosted hundreds of thousands for decades, though at immense strain. Egypt, by contrast, has consistently refused permanent resettlement, restricting citizens and framing Palestinian presence as temporary. But the wider Arab Muslim world has resources and proximity and cultural continuity to assume greater responsibility. For too long, the world has dodged this responsibility, outsourcing it to Europe's suburbs and America's cities. The dodge ends now because Denmark has spoken, not in rhetoric, but in results. The Danish test was run, the figures recorded, the budgets tied, the verdict is written. Never again. So I don't know if I completely agree with this article, but it's a few points do resonate with me. And again, I think the big thing is, why won't Egypt take more? Why does Saudi Arabia not take more? Why doesn't UAE take more? It's simple. They already know that a large proportion of these people that are coming in, not just Palestinians, I'm not just talking about them, I'm just talking about mass migration in general, a large percentage of these people are going to be criminals. And the case study in Denmark really just proves it. And I know people are going to say, oh, no, the poor Palestinians. But do you really want criminals coming in? And obviously, these Gulf countries don't. And they know that the percentage of criminals is high enough that it's going to be a net drain on their society, and they don't want that kind of instability that comes with that. And it's the kind of instability we're seeing all over Europe now. We need to encourage the Middle East to do more because Europe and America are at the breaking point. That's what I think. Let me know what you think. I might be wrong. I could be. If there's something I missed, let me know. If you like this, give me a like and a subscribe. If you don't like it, don't watch me. Thanks. Bye.